often what I like doing is kind of de-weaponizing movements, taking them out of any martial context or any particular context of getting a result, and just exploring them. And so, working with pendulums is a very, very basic movement. And so, often, one of the questions is always how do we initiate? I can initiate from my shoulder or from somewhere in my arm. I'm going to initiate just by shifting my center of mass side to side just a little bit. And if you do that, your arms just kind of swing naturally with it. And so, if I increase the amplitude a little bit, I'm going to try and transfer that energy into my arms rather than letting my body move off center. So I'm just going to keep my spine vertical and let a little side shift with my center of mass transfer into my arms, working as a pendulum. And so at a certain point, just like you always fantasize on a swing set, it gets high enough and you can round the bend and make it a circle. And so these can be, sometimes we'll work with this as just kind of a continuous motion exercise, switch directions, and then we can, right now the arms are coupled together, so they're both going left, they're both going right, or you can let them go opposite. But the movement obviously is ridiculously simple. It's just the concept of shifting my center of mass is what's creating the movement. So I'm not initiating the movement from my arms. What that means is, rather than making a concentric contraction of my muscles to lift my arm against gravity, I'm letting gravity pull it down and then back up. And so the motion in my arms, the muscular engagement is all eccentric contractions. The momentum is actually throwing my arm away from its central point, and then the only muscular contraction is a little bit for control and a little bit to keep it attached to my body. And so the movement's very, very basic. It's just playing with the concept and training the body to actually release into the momentum and control the momentum. And so, obviously, there's many pathways. We can do it with arms straight. We can do it with elbows bent. That starts to end up looking like some of the old, more traditional forms and application. But the concept of, it's one thing to do a movement, it's another thing to allow the movement to happen. And so it's a subtle thing in appearance, but the feeling is very different. So that's probably enough for now. Just working with that pendulum. You can start off together as a grandfather clock, then let it round the bend and become a circle, and then switching directions, alternating arms, and just play with it, see how it feels.